Hello YouTube, Brent Pitter here with you. Coming to you from Dumaguete City. We just got out, come to the Honda shop. We're going to take a look at these scoots. I'm going to see about buying a bike. I hadn't really decided what kind of bike I want. I've narrowed it down to like a Honda Blade or a Honda Wave, probably they call them here in the Philippines. Vietnam, they call them a Blade. It's a semi-automatic bike, or a Honda Click. The reason I'm considering the semi-automatic is, number one, because it's got bigger tires, and if you hit a dog over here, maybe you're not as liable to fly over the handlebars. And number two, it's got a secondary kickstart on it, so if you leave the key on, and I'm bad about leaving the key on, folks. There's been a time or two that I've left my key on, come back outside and my motorbike's dead. And unless you got a battery charger here in the Philippines, you're screwed. Like I say, they're automatic bikes, so you can't push start them. So I'd really like to have that secondary kickstart just to not have to worry about a battery. So let's go in here and check them out, see what we got. What do you think?
Let's go.
Let's go do it. Here we go, folks.
Do it.
Okay, folks, we're here at the Honda dealership, you can see, and we're going to go in and see what they got to offer. I may not have anything to offer. There's a little Honda Click. Hang on, let me look around and I'll get back with you, folks. Okay, folks, just went into the Honda dealership and got them checked out. And yeah, I was very interested in the Honda Wave. The Honda Wave is just kind of like I said, it's kind of like the motorbike that I rode across Vietnam. Very good, very dependable bikes. They're only like 62,000 pesos, which say $1,000, maybe 1,100, something like that. The Honda Click is 85,000 pesos, which is probably closer to 1,400, somewhere in there. I would go with the Honda Wave because it's got, like I say, it's got the reserve kickstart. You know, if your battery goes dead, it's got the bigger tires. The only downfall it is a semi-automatic bike, which is pretty much the same thing as an automatic, folks. You just kick it in gear. You can start out in any gear too. I think it's got 4 gears. You can kick it straight to third and it'll take off fine. It's not like you've got to worry about, you know, releasing the clutch and it down on you. It's just kind of like a semi-automatic four-wheeler. You just the lower the gear, the slower you go. But you can start out. I mean, you can probably even start out in high. You know, I wouldn't recommend it. You'd probably burn up some clutches or whatever. But very dependable bikes. The only thing I'm leaning towards the Honda Click. The only reason why I'm leaning towards it is because probably due to the resale value. You know, if I was going to resell a motorbike here in the Philippines, you're going to sell it to somebody who's got, you know, cash on hand. And I really think the people that would have the cash on hand would be the foreign guys, the foreigners moving to the Philippines. And lots of guys want an automatic. I mean, let's just keep it real. They want an automatic, and they make more sense riding an automatic in Dumaguete. You know, it's always stop and go. And like I say, you shift with your foot. It's nothing, not like it's a big deal, but you just say manual transmission, and it just puts people off. So you don't see a lot of foreign guys riding anything but automatic bike over here. I mean, that's just and I get it. So when it comes to resale value, I may go ahead and go with the Honda Click, like I say, just because of the resale value. I don't like the fact that it's got, you know, the smaller tires, because my buddy Aaron, he hit a dog, and it puts you in for a hell of a crash. And it may be the same way with the Honda Wave and the bigger tires. I mean, they're quite a bit bigger, taller tires, so it might give you a little bit more grace, but at the same time, I don't know if you hit something like that, you may be screwed either way. So only because of that, you know, I wish Honda Click had a kickstart. You know, because I've done it more than once. I've left my key, just get off my bike and just leave my key on, and you know, the headlight shining, you come back, your motorbike's dead. Or you go inside and come back out and you're like, damn, I left the key in it. I'm from Oklahoma. We leave the keys and everything. I leave the keys and I don't take the keys out of my vehicle. So that's a habit that I just brought over here with me. Growing up in rural Oklahoma, that's the keys stay in the ignition. So I brought that bad habit over here. And, you know, nowadays they've got all these electronic keys and all that crap. So I don't think the motorbikes though will. I do that with my car. I pull up and just go inside, and you know, a minute later the headlights go off automatically. The scooters that I've rented, they don't do that. You come out and you're like, shit, I got a dead battery, and then you got to buy a screwdriver, which is, you know, no big deal. But I mean, or get you a butter knife and then open the deal. And last time I bought it happened to me once. So I just went to the hardware store and bought me some copper wire, and I jumped it off with a spare battery I had, because actually this pickup, a long time ago, the battery went bad on this pickup, and she replaced the battery and just had one laying, her old one, in the back. And it wasn't enough to start this diesel pickup, but it was plenty to start that little scooter. So I just kept it on my front porch and had to use it at least once that I know of. So I bought me a little battery charger from Lazada for $2 or $3. Didn't cost nothing. And never even used it, because I went to Thailand, I think, and I just wound up giving the battery charger to my neighbor, I think, and come back, and it happened to me again after that, and I didn't have a battery charger. But no big deal. No, I mean, you could always find somebody to jump your back, but it's sure. I did that in Vietnam one time, and reached up there to hit it, and you know, the old dreaded signal. But on them little waves and little blades, you just fold out the little kick start, kick it, and you're good to go. It'll charge all by itself. So that's the only reason. The two main reasons I was wanting the Wave. Like I say, it's about 20 grand, 20,000 pesos cheaper than the Honda Click. But I really think that if a guy was gonna whenever come time to resell one, that she would be a whole lot easier to get rid of a Honda Click than it would be the Wave. So really, I'm trying to talk myself out of both of them right now, but it's not working. I'm probably going to lean toward. Oh, and another deal. This was another deal that throwed me off. They're telling me that the registration's going to take 3 or 4 months to get in it. So even though I've got a motorbike, I'm still going to have to dodge the checkpoints and stuff, because legally, even though I've got a brand new motorcycle, I will not have registration for 3 or 4 months. So that's another kicker that had me about ready to say screw it and just not do it. I've heard of places, and if y'all know, leave in the comments. I've heard of some places only taking a couple weeks, but I asked that guy and he told me 3 or 4 months. And I asked him, I said, well, I've heard of it only taking a couple weeks. He said, well, maybe other dealerships, but this one you're looking at 3 or 4 months. And I mean, he wants to sell the bike. He's not telling me that to put me off because he wants to sell the bike. He's just being honest and saying, yeah, it's going to take 3 or 4 months for you to get your registration. So you can drive it right now, but legally at these checkpoints, they can give you a ticket, or they can impound your bike. You know, you hear a bunch of that going on right here. I'd want to think that they would use common sense and say, hey, this guy's got a brand new motorbike. If they catch you at the checkpoint, you know, he's obviously probably put in for his paperwork. Let's just send him on down the road, give him a ticket or whatever. And you're talking tickets probably. I think Simon got a ticket because he had registration but didn't have it on his bike. I think it cost him $4. I could be totally wrong, but it was baby shit. But just the fact that you gotta, like I said, roadblocks not even been an issue to me, but sure as shit, I'll buy a bike and I'll probably go through 4 of them the next week. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the luck I've got. And so that kind of throwed me, was kind of a negative, got me second guessing that part. And just, I don't know. I'm probably going to pull the trigger. Just because I got to thinking to myself in my head, you know, when I first got here, I was given 7,500 pesos a month, which is probably $140 a month to rent a motorbike. You do that for 11 months and you've bought a motorbike, folks. I mean, just to be honest with you. And then I later found where I was able to rent a bike for $5,000. But this way, if anything happens to the bike, I don't have to worry about screwing up somebody's motorbike, you know, any of that. It's just, it'd be a win-win situation, and get a little equity in something, folks. So I'm gonna kick it around a little bit more and decide whether I need to go get a little cash out and go buy a motorbike or go from there. We'll see in a bit, folks. Okay, folks, here's what we're working with. We've got thinking about going a different route. We've got well, now it looks like we're looking at the new one again, folks, because the last one had a busted tail light, and they wanted 2,500 pesos to fix the tail light, and it had a little scratch damage right here, and so you're still looking at paying 70,000 pesos, and you have a scratch bike with a busted tail light. Mind you, it would have been worth a bunch having registration on one, because like I said, they're talking 3 to 5 months on registration. So I don't know. You can't do nothing today because it's Chinese holiday. The banks are closed. So we're gonna kick this around and probably come back tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I'll show you this other bike that I was seriously considering. Not this one, but that's a pretty slick looking bike. That's what you call a 122. So that's right at $2,000. And that's a STD, whatever, sexual transmitted disease. But here's the Honda Wave. And as you can see, the tires are a lot taller. See, there's your click tires, and these are your Honda Wave tires. And it's got your kickstart. Right here, the kickstart. So pretty good bikes. I rode one all the way around Vietnam. And it's just a very simple bike. It's only right at 60,000 pesos, so $1,000, 1,100, something like that. But anyway, folks, you ready? Are you ready? This one's going to be, we got them down 500, and to throw in a helmet. That's all they want to negotiate, folks. Okay, folks, made it back to the house. Still kicking around what to do, on the bike situation. And here's my options. I could buy the repoed Honda Click that I told you had the busted tail light. I could pay 68,000 for that. Pay 2,500 pesos to get the tail light lens fixed. I mean, the light still works, but you can't buy just the lens. I know that sounds super expensive for a tail light lens, especially here in the Philippines. But they say it's a whole assembly, so it's a 2,500 peso assembly. So you're looking at $45, $48 just for the tail light. It did have a few minor scratches. It looked like what I think happened is a foreign guy probably come over here and bought a motorcycle and realized that he couldn't handle driving a motorcycle. I mean, that's basically what it looks like, folks. Looks like somebody bought it. It had 1,600 kilometers on it. It'd been laid over with a little busted tail light. So yeah, that may be the best way to go, just because, they really, whoever owned it didn't have time to really screw it up, if there is such a thing, if it takes a little bit of time. I'm just saying that it probably wasn't abused much, because like I say, it's only got 1,600 kilometers on it, and of course, it don't take long to abuse one if you don't know what you're doing riding a motorbike. But my experience with these motorbikes, they're very tough, durable motorbikes over here. And the only reason that, before y'all comment about you're only saving probably 15,000 pesos, that's less than $300. I get that. The money's not the object. Here's the object, folks. The object is it being repoed, it's registered already. And with that, what that means is I could get on it, drive it home, be legal. I mean, that's basically it. On the other bikes, you know, the one little Honda Click, the little red one, beautiful bike. I've rented pretty much every time I rent a bike, it's been a Honda Click. I've rented the the big Yamaha. I've rented a little Honda Beat, which is about the same as Click, just a little smaller. Uh, Absolutely like the Click better than the Beat, just because I'm a bigger guy. But it's basically the same bike, maybe a few different horsepower, narrower seat, uh, and then the little Honda Wave. The Honda Wave, I'm just familiar with it because that's what I rode in Vietnam. It's a lot cheaper bike. It's brand new, but then you're in the same boat. You have no registration for 3 to 5 months, and the Philippines is starting to be like a what's that? And our old brother, where art thou? Geological oddity. You know, you're 3 months away from everything. When you get here, you can drive legally for 3 months, and then you can't drive legal no more. You got to wait till 6 months to get your driver's license. Well, when now throw this into the equation, if you get here and you try to buy a motorbike, well, you're not going to be able to drive legally anyway because you're not going to have registration for 3 to 5 months if you buy a new bike. You know, it don't make sense, but there's no need complaining about it because that's the way it is. So that's the only reason I'm even considering, you know, because they're not giving you much of a break at all on that being a used bike, especially with it having 1,600 kilometers, having scratches on the front of it, and a busted taillight. I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's the deal of the century because it's not. It makes absolutely no sense, but they're not willing to go down. They started out at 68. I hit them at 6. They said, nope, price as is. I hit them at 65. Nope, price as is. And then, you know, it was at 68. That's what they started at. And then I realized that it had the busted taillight, and I thought, well, I'll at least get them to fix that for free. And I told them, I'll buy it if you fix that taillight assembly. And she come back. She said, no, we can't do that. It's as is. And it's going to be $2,500 because it's not just a lens, it's a whole assembly. So zero luck on the negotiation part. Now on the new one, did get them to knock 500 off the retail price. It was at 85,000 pesos. Got them to knock off 500 pesos. Throw in a helmet. Throw in she said a jersey, whatever the hell a jersey means. Probably a shirt, t-shirt, or I don't know. But then again, have a brand new bike. You know what you're getting. 0 miles. I mean 0.0 kilometers. Beautiful bike. Very comfortable bike. You know, I'm comfortable with it because I've rented the Clicks, had good luck with the Clicks. I know they're a good bike. But to me, it's not about. I'm not looking for the best bike. I'm not looking for the most practical bike. I'm not looking for really anything other than, you know, number one, I want it to be legal. Number two, I want it to be dependable. I don't want one of them rusty piece of shits, them China bikes that you get. That's not even an option. I know I could probably, and no more that I'm going to use the bike. That'd probably be a great option. Matter of fact, they're getting slicker and slicker, and I've heard better and better things about them. Matter of fact, my neighbors at my old apartment complex, I noticed he had a Rusty, and it was a beautiful bike. It looked just like a Honda Click, but I would rather have a Honda or a Yamaha or even a Suzuki. But I want it to be legal, and I don't want to wait on registration. And if you go through one of these roadblocks or whatever, and they catch you, you know, you could get your bike impounded. I mean, they mean business when it comes to that on the motorbike deal over here. And there's no, and not that this would matter, but you wouldn't be able to take it from island to island because you had no registration. That's the first thing they asked for. And of course, I learned a long time ago it's cheaper even if you rent a bike here. It's registered. You can take it anywhere you want to. You can take it island to island. But it's not worth it when it comes to, you'll pay more to get it on a one-way ferry than it would cost you to get over there and rent a whole nother bike. I learned that when I was going to Sikihor and Bohol. You know, the first time I took my bike, and paid about 3 times as much for a roll-on, roll-off ferry just to take my bike, and it took me twice as long to get there and twice as much. It's just not a good idea. unless you're, I'm sure there's certain situations where it'd be a good idea if you're going and you're going to be gone quite a while. But for like 3 or 4, day getaway, you're much better off just renting when you get there. So that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna. The good thing about me right now is I'm not in a hurry, and that's a good thing about. You usually find better deals when you're not in a hurry. So I'm gonna sleep on it and go from there. And like I say, I don't need the bike. Tarina's got a truck. I can take the truck whenever I want, wherever I want. I mean, that's not an issue. But I don't like that. You know what I mean? I like to if I just want to go down to the cafe. I don't want to, borrow anything. I've always been independent, where I like to have my own wheels and that's just me. That has nothing to do with anybody or anything, and I just feel better knowing I've got one parked right there. You know what I mean? So, like I say, I'm gonna kick it around. If y'all have got any ideas, or if y'all know of any, if Yamaha, say Yamaha, I need to ask Simon. He just got through buying a bike. Simon, hit me up if Yamaha don't take 3 to 5 months, because we went to 2 different dealers today and they both told me the same thing. One said 3 to 4, one said 3 to 5. Figure they're both Honda dealers, so it's probably the same. One's just probably being a little bit more transparent than the other one, I imagine. But like I say, I could buy the used, the repoed back, and be totally legal. But you're getting you're actually getting somebody's headache, or somebody's, it's a repo for a reason. They either didn't like something about it, or they messed something up, or they just didn't know how to ride the thing. And I don't know what's worse. I mean, I don't know what's better. I don't know what's worse if when it comes to any of that. And it may be a perfect good bike. I'm not saying, and I'm really considering it, just because I want it to be legal now. If you know what I mean. Yeah, of course I could buy one from somebody that I don't know, and I'm on several of these groups on Facebook, and every time I turn my Facebook on, that's all it is motorcycles for sale. But you don't know what you're getting. At least with a dealer, you kind of got a little. I don't know. I just don't know what's the best way of going about it. But I do know that when I rented a bike the first time, when I little place there by the boulevard, every once in a while I would see that they had bikes for sale. But that's another thing. You go to buying one from a rental place. Of course, it'll be registered, but they've probably rented them things to the dumbest sumbitches that's ever drove a motorbike before in their life, not knowing how to drive a motorbike. It's just, you could get into a lot of. I mean, you could buy a brand new one and get a lemon, sure, but there's a lot more chances that somebody that didn't know what they was doing, or didn't, the maintenance probably be a little closer to up to par, or the way a foreigner would service their bike. Because I mean, let's just face it, Filipinos, they don't take 90% of them don't take care of stuff the way that we do, just because they don't, they may not have the ability to, if it's oil change or buy some rice, I'm sure they buy rice, so I'm bad enough as it is on stretching my oil. I think if you're supposed to change it every 3,000, for me that's every 5,000, just always, or add a little more. But I don't even know if they do that here. But anyway, folks, that's all I got for now. I know this is a boring video about buying a motorbike that half y'all may never have to worry about, but I got on here and went to looking to just find some information about buying a bike in the Philippines, and I didn't find many videos that was that much help at all. So I figured I'd just take you through it and just show you part of my day and walk you through it, and maybe some of y'all can give me some tips on how to buy a bike in the Philippines, folks. A fat girl. Y'all know how I feel about these fat girls. That's what I call a Honda Click, a scooter. You know what I mean? They're fun to ride. You just don't want your buddies to see you. But I may wind up with a fat girl tomorrow. We'll see. That's all I got for now, folks. It's Brent Stripping. Peace.